Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Humbo here, bringing you a brand new upload, and today I'm going to be going over my top 5 tips to hit champs fast in Season 6. Guys, I am on a road to 100,000 arena points, as y'all know, and I will be in champs by the time you see this video. As you guys can see, I'm at 5k plus points right now. I'm going to be wrapping that up today, hitting the big champs. But you know the vibes, man. Just make sure you watch this video all the way through if you guys want the best tips, the best results possible for your gameplay. Also, make sure you consider dropping a sub if my video does go on to help you, right? If you don't enjoy the video, don't sub. But if it does help you, it really means the world. I put my absolute all into these. But yeah, without further ado, like, you already know, check out the Twitch, the link's in the description, live stream on there. But let's get into these tips, man. Top 5 tips for Arena Season 6. Let's go. All right, guys, so the first major tip of this video, right? It's going to be something we have not talked about on this channel before, and that is going to be finding a designated landing spot every time for Arena. Now, a lot of you guys may be saying, like, shouldn't I just drop the soft side of zone? Like, shouldn't I just drop far away from the bus and then play placement for points? Yes, you're true in some aspects, but here's what I've been running into with this season especially. So many people are sweating tons, right? Like everybody is playing for points. So a lot of times these softer areas right away from the bus are just as contested as what you would find, if not more contested than what you would find right underneath the bus, right at the beginning of the bus. So I would almost get to the point now where I'm starting to say, wait, it doesn't matter about dropping far away or dropping soft. I should learn one spot that I really like. For some reason, I like the meta, I like fighting there, I'm just overall comfortable, and I should stick with that spot. I should learn how to be the first person to drop it from every angle. My duo and trio should learn it, and we should just dominate one area, because I'll tell you what, guys, if you can get good at winning early game fights in Fortnite, preferably a location that only has 1 to 2 teams there, depending on the size. I'm not asking you to drop insanely hot or anything. I'm asking you to find an identity with one location on the map and make it that your zone, right? You're not sitting there just dropping soft trying to survive an arena. You can get more points if you learn one drop spot and how to fight it and land it really well. I promise you guys. Trying to just survive an arena doesn't really work. You'll sit at the same points and kind of churn after you get above 4k, because at 4,000 points, that's Division 7 right now, and so many good players are at that. The only way to combat this isn't by dropping soft and playing to survive. It's playing to win and dominating a landing zone. So the best thing you can do is go into Battle Lab, go into like the creative game modes for where you can check out the map, or look up videos on that location and just figure out all the chest spawns, the best drop patterns, everything. Memorize it, lock it down, make that landing location your identity for the early season. Alright, guys, now for tip number 2 of this video, I'm going to be covering more of the mid-game side of things, okay? Because so many of you guys have been commenting and DMing, how do I win these mid-game fights? I keep getting caught up in Storm, I'm dying in Storm, I'm just all these different things, right? The main problem is you guys don't have awareness, okay? You need to be aware of where you are fighting. It's so underrated. If you are taking a proper dead side fight away from main rotation, away from the center of zone, you are going to be running into way less third parties, and also you aren't going to be getting caught up and getting behind in the storm rotations, which is one of the worst things you can do for gaining arena points. Because basically, guys, it all comes down to placing, getting that first round of placement every single game if possible. Obviously, you're going to die off spawn sometimes, but after you make it off spawn, making sure you secure that placement. How can we do that? Take a dead side fight only. You don't want to take a fight in the center of map for obvious reasons. Tons of people rotating in from all different sides. You also don't want to take a fight where you're close to where zone has just come in, right? Like zone's just come in and you're right on the border of zone. If you take that fight when zone starts rotating to the next zone, you're going to get caught up. There's not a lot of rotation this season, and you're going to get held by the next team that's already waiting for you in zone. So basically, positioning can come down to so much. When you extrapolate that out of over game after game after game, you need to have good positioning when you're fighting and be really aware of where you're at. If you guys are near the top side, the dead side of zone, away from major POIs, and you take a fight, that's a good quality fight. Odds of third parties are low. You're not going to be any rush of storm, so you can take your time with the fight. I mean, how many times have you really sat there and done a really bad third party that you knew was bad? You go right in trying to get a quick cleanup because you're getting greedy, and then storm's coming in, and then you end up in this standoff until everybody's completely griefed. Guys, just start cutting your losses. Don't take those fights. Rotate first, then hold people. Positioning is so much. All right, guys, and now for tip number 3, and this is something that that I recently had a very big breakthrough for myself, and that is that you have to become a very patient fighter, especially in solos. The person who usually acts versus actually tends to lose unless you have zero ping, right? But none of us have zero ping for the most part. I'm sure some of you guys watching this do. You're really lucky you can play very aggressive. But for the vast majority of us who are on 40, 50, 60 ping like myself, you have to become a very good defensive box fighter. You have to know how to make plays out of defense, out of right-hand peeks from inside your own box, but all that starts with patience. I had this thing when I started playing Arena a lot recently, like these last couple seasons, and I started practicing a lot, where I would always feel the need to come up to somebody and just start hacking at their wall and doing what I watch pros that are on that zero ping do. I tried to emulate that and play super aggressive, and it wouldn't really get me anywhere. I would get caught with my pickaxe out, I would get shot like out of my own pickaxe swing, I would get caught in the middle of that, they'd open up the edit and clip me or whatever, something like that, okay? It sucked, okay? And then I started to realize that if you're just patient in a fight, a lot of times your opponent will make the mistakes for you. Basically, it's like a game of patience. Obviously you can't just sit there and just tunnel back forever, but if you let them aggress and let them come towards you, your average player is going to show weaknesses and show his own hand, right? You're going to find openings by being a patient player. If you learn how to take a breath and not rush everything, especially after you get them low, I promise you this will go a world of way with your mid-game fights. All right, guys, and now getting into tip number 4, we are going to be going over 2 ways that you guys need to start practicing and warming up. Just 2 things you need to implement into every single warm-up / practice routine before you get on to play Arena. So because of the new meta, right, everybody's running purple shoddy, right? Of course, the Spaz 12 is back and it's absolutely beautiful, right? Everyone's having so much fun with it. But what this does is it makes Zone War fill, like just any Zone War 2v2, Zone War 1v1, really, really relevant, because now you're actually using that pump piece control again, which is super, super important to practice. So now a lot of those moves that you were doing in Zone Wars that weren't converting to Arena are now going to play a much more relevant part in your actual gameplay in game. Also, the new box fight arena is so fun. If you guys haven't tried it out yet, I highly recommend it. Of course, box fighting is great, but now that there's actually a division for it and you can actually start to find really good challenges, and it will, it's just a fun way, right? There's a bracket every single time of 16 and it works you down to see if you can win the bracket of 16 of box fights. That is a great concept and I hope Fortnite continues to run with it, but make sure you're taking advantage of this new game mode along with Zone Wars and really working on your pre-boxing, all types of piece control. Watch some piece control tutorials on anyone's channel and really try to implement them, because guys, this is such a box-to-box edit, piece control season compared to last season, which was very 50-50, very spray, tack shot, just kind of seeing who would win the trade. This is much more smart edits, okay? So it's gonna be super important that you're learning how to right-hand peek effectively, and Zone Wars and Box Fight Arena are 2 great ways to practice. I would recommend running about 2 to 3 Zone Wars before you guys actually hop into Arena, in 2 to 3 of those Box Fight Arena matches. All right, guys, and now getting into tip number 5. This is gonna be a good old Humbo ramp, baby. And guys, listen, I have seen so many of you guys complaining about the new weapons, all these new mechanics, and you have to upgrade with parts to get a spaz, and it's all too much, too complicated. Listen, all right, that's the meta. It's not going to change no matter what you say. So if you still plan on playing Fortnite, you still want to be a big grinder, the only thing you can do is adapt, adjust to the meta. Now, what this entails is learning every single location you can upgrade your makeshift shotgun, every single AI that can do that. So they can take a gray makeshift to a blue with gold, and then you can use the gears to upgrade that into a pump shoddy. Now guys, something that you need to understand is you don't just get gears from cars, you get them from tons of different metal stacks and all these different types of like tractors and certain vehicles, tons of stuff that's metal basically gives you gears. So it's not like they're as hard to find as you might think, right? If you start to actually learn what can give you gears, you can make them go way farther than what you ever expected. Also guys, the new Primal AR is different for sure, right? It doesn't have the same tight first shot accuracy. It's definitely an adjustment period of learning how to use it. But all of these new guns are offering new opportunities for you to get ahead in the meta. If you're the first person to learn how to use a Primal AR well, you're going to succeed far more than the person who is just being negative about it, or the new Primal shotgun. That thing rips if you know how to use it, all right? You need to learn it, okay? Now the makeshift shotgun, that's a whole different story. That thing is really bad, okay? But listen, it's for making the best shotgun in the game. That is why it is so over nerfed. You have to understand that Fortnite is simply just trying to balance out the meta and make sure it is not only spasms being used, they're trying to find a combination that's going to work. And that's what last season did well. It had a nice shotgun meta where people were using different stuff, right? You had people using the charge, the lever. So you gotta appreciate what Fortnite is trying to do and not always just be so quick to hate, because you're not getting anything out of that. Literally, all you're doing is putting yourself in a negative mind frame to play the game, and your grind overall, your gameplay is gonna suffer, your mindset's gonna be bad. Just try to look at it from their perspective and keep an open mind and keep working, fam. But with that, it's your boy Humbo with a brand new upload. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got something out of this. I'll be coming out with more arena videos soon as I hit champs and work towards 100K points. But make sure y'all drop a sub with the noties on if it did go on to help you. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day.